funnel. And when I think about retention, there's a couple of different ways we might be having this conversation with a client. Maybe we're lucky enough and we really started to help them with their brand, and it was the awareness phase, and then we were able to help them with the conversion and everything. So maybe we have a lot of data, but we might not. And so I think that's the most important part of retention, is knowing the audience and what kind of data we have available, because that dictates what we can do. So for example, I got my boy Bob Ross over there. We did a campaign with Minnetrista, which is a cultural center. They have an exhibit for Bob Ross. They knew that people who had come to Minnetrista in the past would, A, be likely to want to come and buy tickets for Bob Ross, but B, those characteristics are similar to other people who might want to go see Bob Ross. Well, they had a database of everyone that had purchased tickets. So we were able to use that database, and we created a lookalike audience. And we did that on social media. And when we looked at their campaign, that was the best performing component of the campaign. We had programmatic, we had multiple types of social, whole bunch of things. It was such a good performer. It had over 6,000 leads to their site with a 2.29% click-through rate, which is insane. But that all goes back to the data. They knew they had this database, and so we were able to put together a strategy with that. But we may know something else. Maybe, it's like a Wickerworks, where they don't quite have the same type of database, but they know some key characteristics of their audience. They know it tends to be female, affluent, like luxury goods, have outdoor living space, want to entertain. I call their client my Aunt Janet because that's exactly who they're describing. She's got her Coach purse or whatever, is a big designer purse now. And we're able to say, okay, that's how we want to retain your client base, is we need to stay in front of this audience. But after 5 years, we've had to come up with different ways to stay in front of them. Key things are site retargeting. Someone who's visited their website, we stay top of mind. We keep serving ads to them. But we've also done things like with Wickerworks, where we use video content. We used our Top 8 platform with the tips that we're able to produce there. And then we take that target on Facebook and we serve the ads there. So it's not just a display ad. We've come up with a different way to reach them. So retention is staying top of mind with that audience base. We've talked about the lookalike audience. Content is key. Different ways of reaching the audience is key. Email marketing can be really effective. Again, maybe they have a database, but we can also take those audience characteristics and use our own opportunities to reach similar audiences. Something else that can be really successful is IP targeting. And just another quick story. So IP targeting is where you're able to say, okay, like my house has its own unique IP address. Maybe NewFlow, another one of our clients, has provided service at my house. So then we're able to say, okay, other houses in my area might need to be reached. We can reach individual households based on some similar characteristics. So again, really effective retention strategies. And it's top of mind, and it's all about the audience.
Retention is about getting back in front of someone they've already sold, or keeping sales flowing from a similar audience. The more data a client can provide us, the cooler stuff we can do. It's really, really about the data. Yes, site retargeting is the obvious thing when we talk about retention, helping clients stay in front of them. Email, custom audience build-outs, lookalike modeling, all these things are done by getting access to clients' data. We use it to either target that exact person, think the digital form of direct mail, or to help them find people like the person who just closed them. A lot of it's about life cycle, right? If you're a car dealer, you're not selling a car to the same family every year. I mean, sometimes you are maybe. But on average, it's every, 3 to 6 years? 7? Great example. We do a lot of digital with FC Tucker, biggest realty group in the city by volume. Okay, not the highest price points, but by volume. They sell the most houses. They know statistically that in the city of Indianapolis, people move on average every 7 years. That's the number, where typically you outgrow your house or you move on. That's the average. They have data of all the people they sold a house to 6 years ago. So what did we do?
Target them.
We targeted that exact list of people 6 years ago that bought a house at FC Tucker with messages around, I'll dumb it down, essentially it was, don't forget about FC Tucker, relist with us when you need it. That's basically what the message was.
Did they target first-time buyers? I mean, people that were first-time buyers that
I
now
don't
might be
think
adding.
I don't think we segmented that way. We could though. Yeah. Good example of the client understands the next time up they're trying to sell it to the same person, we got in front of that person directly for them. IP targeting is really, really powerful stuff. Pretend that all of us lived on the same street. We all lived on Meridian, right? Caitlin, Teresa, Greg, and I drive a Honda, and Michelle and Steve drive a Toyota. Honda wants to sell Hondas again. They're going to target the four of us in our house on the street, not the Toyota people. Or, frankly, they might want to go try to get the Toyota people into a Honda. You can be that choosy. The person in the house, not the whole zip code of the street. It's really cool stuff. This is a guide of products that typically go with the different stages we just talked about, okay?